Hey everyone, we all know the Imperium of Mankind doesn't take too kindly to anyone that doesn't closely resemble them, with the mantra of purge all of the things generally being liberally applied. Today we're going to look at the humanoid civilization that decided to embrace the Xenos, and find out what happened when they first met the forces of the Emperor. The Interex were a highly advanced galactic human civilization, spanning across roughly 30 star systems during the time of the Great Crusade in the 31st millennium. Whilst very similar physically to humans, they were often taller than average and had bat-shaped ears. This helped them communicate in their unique language, which was based on music and song. In a radically different line of thinking compared to the Imperium, the Interex seeked unity with intelligent Xenos races, rather than their obliteration. The race had incorporated Xenos within their civilizations. This had worked so well that the simian alien species known as the Kind branch fully integrated with Interex society. Those Xenos life forms that couldn't be rationed with were often isolated to prison worlds. It also seems that at some point the race had interacted with the forces of the Eldari, who had warned them of the dangers of chaos and those that resided within the warp, which initially led them to be incredibly wary of the Imperial forces. The technology of the race surpassed that of the Imperium's, but was less focused on war. The race had access to mobile weapon platforms that turned their warriors into shapes of centaurs from mythology of Old Terra. This allowed their warriors to maintain stable firing positions, whilst enabling increased mobility. Their ornate bows and crossbows that may have looked simple parade weapons were powerful devices capable of sending bolts of energy hurtling into the enemy. These bolts in fact were so powerful that it could even pierce the protective ceramite armour the Astartes wore. The race had also seemed to embrace artificial intelligence, with advanced drones that had various roles similar to that of a servitor within the Imperium. The Interex first came into contact with the Imperium of Man during the Great Crusade, when they first encountered the Lunar Wolves, led by the War Master Horus. The Astartes were leading a brutal war on the planet of Murder, against the Mega Arachnids. The Interex ambassadors informed the War Master of the war waged between the two races, and how the Interex had stripped the interstellar travel capabilities and moved the Mega Arachnids to this world. The world was to act as a reservation for them, to hold the violent semi-sentient race. The Mega Arachnids had infested 8 of the Interex systems before they were finally pushed back and confined. The Interex finally managed to convince Horus to abandon the war to purify the world of Murder, much to the fury of his first captain Abaddon. The Interex took Horus and their legion to their nearby world of Zenobia to begin diplomatic talks with their government. By all accounts, Horus was incredibly impressed by the Interex society, and sought to rejoin them with the Imperium of Man. After landing on the world, the War Master and his sons were taken on a tour of the Interex society, and included within that was a trip to the Museum of Artifacts and Weapons, which housed Kind branch weaponry. The race having only sworn to use these weapons when granted permission from the Interex. It wasn't only Kind branch technology and weaponry which was housed there. A host of different Xenos tech that the Interex had encountered during their exploration was also there. However, during these diplomatic talks, an artifact known as the Antheum was stolen from the Hall of Devices, and conflict broke out. Unknown to Horus, it was the first chaplain of the word-bearers Erebus that had taken the blade, which was tainted by chaos, and sabotaged the Museum of Artifacts and Weapons. The Lunar Wolves managed to extract the War Master from the diplomacy talks, but at a great cost. The incredibly powerful bolts from the bows easily punching holes in the Astartes' power armour, and provided an equal match for the Space Marines. Horus foamed as he was taken back to the extraction vessel. His vision of uniting the Interex into the Imperium of Man lay in ruin. It was after this terrible misunderstanding on Zenobia that the Lunar Wolves destroyed the Interex civilization, as they continued their great crusade across the stars. We hope you really enjoyed our video covering the Interex. What do you think would have happened if that naughty sod Erebus hadn't stolen the Chaos artifact? Let us know in the comments below. See you all next time.